Hello, everybody. This is Kiki from Living Food. How's everybody doing today? I am here with my sister, Maritza Otero, the young, vibrant one that looks like strawberry shortcake. But anyways, this is Father's Day week. And we jumped on today because I had asked my sister, hey, do you have any photos of dad? And just seeing that photo, it brought me to be so emotional, especially when I asked my sister, how old was dad when he passed away? And when she told me 66, I was like, it just really, my heart, I'm 60. And because of the living food plays a big role, in addition to my faith in God, for my temple, my nutrition, it really hurt me to say, wow, that was 6 years older than what I am right now. And if my dad was alive today, you better believe he would be on the living food. So here we are today, and we just want to share a little bit about our story. And we're not going to share everything. We all have a story, Maya Mari. But anyways, this is my sister, Maritza. Hi.
Hi, sister.
Hi. Okay, that sounds better. You were kind of echoey a minute ago. But so Mari, can you share, do you want to share your age? I'm 60, and where do you live?
I'm 47 and I currently live in Florida, but I'm from Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Yes, yes. So those that know me, my dad's from Puerto Rico and my mom is from Mexico. And Maritza, she's 100% pure Puerto Rican, right? And she makes the best food when I go to Florida. Her and her husband, whoa. Yeah, I cheat when I'm over there, right? Anyways, Mari. So you sent me a photo and it was of dad. I don't even know what kind of old car that was, but dad was good looking and he knew it. So you know how we stood against a car, like, don't look at the car, look at me, right? I can barely hear you.
You can barely hear me.
That's better. That's better. Okay. Okay. So Mari, let's share a little bit. When you told me, you reminded me that not only did dad die in 2002, which would have made him 84, 85 years old.
Something like that. Yeah.
Uh-huh. But then you reminded me of how when my dad was married to your mom, how you barely found out about all us siblings at a certain age. I'm like, oh my goodness, I forgot about that. So tell me about that. And it's whatever you're comfortable with.
Well, I grew up by myself, right, with my mom because my dad and mom broke up when I was an infant. I was not even, I don't think I was a year old or about a year old when they broke up. So I grew up without knowing about dad. For some reason, my mom chose to just not talk about it. And I knew that my dad's name was Robert, but that was it. I didn't know anything else. And when I was 9, my dad found out about me because during those years, my mom kept in contact with my grandmother, our grandmother Mary, which is dad's mom. And my mom sent Grandma Mary a picture of me, and Grandma Mary forgot to put it away. And she put the picture in front of the TV. I don't know how long it was there, but the thing is that she didn't put it away, and my dad went to visit her and saw the picture in front of the TV. and asked Grandma Mary who was that girl.
So they weren't going to tell my dad. It wasn't meant for him to know, it sounds like.
Yes, my mom had her reasons why
Okay.
she wanted Dad to know where we were
Mm.
or
Wow.
how
And
we.
all this time, I didn't even know what was going on, because by this time I think I was older, obviously, but I don't remember where I was in life at that time, if I was married or not, but okay. So,
You were. You were, because when I met you, you already had the twins.
mm, okay. Wow.
So, um, so of course, my dad insisted that he wanted to talk to my mom. He insisted to Grandma Mary. So Grandma Mary connected them again. I guess it was easier to keep it. It's not the same thing to keep a secret than to lie about it. So she was okay to keep it a secret that she knew about me, but she wasn't okay lying to Dad, saying, no, that wasn't me in the picture.
Right. It's different than when you lie about it than to not say anything. I mean,
Right.
yes and no, but she was comfortable doing that.
Right.
I get
So
it.
when he asked who is this little girl, she didn't want to lie, so she told him that it was me. And he begged her that he wanted to talk to my mom, and so she connected them and they started talking. This was in summer 1984.
Okay, so wait a minute. How old are you then? Were at that time?
At the time,
Okay,
I
so
was just about to turn 10.
okay,
So I was almost 10, just 2-3 months before turning 10.
okay.
So I don't know for how long they talked. I do remember that my grandmother from Puerto Rico, my mom's mom, one day I come home from school and she said, do you want to talk to your dad? And I'm like, to who? And she's like, yeah, your dad, Roberto. And I'm like, I thought it was a joke. She called him and she put him on the phone. That was the first time I ever talked to him, heard his voice. I didn't believe it was him. So I thought it was an uncle of mine playing a joke on me. And
Well,
I kept
that was
saying,
pretty
"Hi, you're my uncle."
that was pretty strong to just put him on
Yeah,
the phone like that.
they didn't give me a break to even think about it. I don't even think my grandmother had permission to do that because my mom was not there. But it happened. And from then on, he started calling me and actually, yes, that summer of 84. So that happened just before summer when I first talked to him. And then in summer, when school was over, my mom and I did a trip to California because that's where he was living, in Salinas, California. And that's when I met him for the first time.
Wow.
But to my surprise, after I meet him, I find out that I have all these siblings. I have nieces, I had an aunt, I had cousins, my other grandma,
Wow.
it was crazy. So me growing up by myself with my mom, and then all of a sudden, I have this huge family. It was crazy. So in summer of 84, that's when I met you, and I met Robin and Debbie and Raymond. And Raymond was only 4 years old. I remember we celebrated his birthday. And then from my parents decided to get back together. So we went back to Puerto Rico, my mom and I, that summer. And she prepared us to move to California, and that's when I moved to California in November of 1984.
Right. Well, if anybody gets with dad, he was a rico suave, and
Yeah,
he
he
just
had
knew. He
had
just
the
knew.
skill. Yes, he had that skill of being a sweet talker.
Yeah,
Yes,
sweet talker. And that's why we have many siblings. You know,
all kinds and colors. All flavors.
did we hit 31 flavors yet? I don't know.
Yeah. No, I always say that he's international.
Internet. There's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we all have awesome memories of dad, and that's why, sister, we're doing this testimonial. My recipe is the Word of God, living water, and then the nutrition, living food, and they're both essentials. And when you put them both together every morning, your quality of life is better. And so, dad's not here today, but because it is Father's Day week, is that we have great memories of dad, but there's others that still have their fathers and they can make a difference, until the Lord takes us home. We all want to feel better. But I think that, I have so many great memories, dad, we talked earlier and you mentioned how we like to show us off. I remember certain situations.
Yeah, and he was just like so proud. I remember every time he would go up to someone and say, "This is my daughter." Uh, it was just something of the way he used to say it, and how he would just present us to other people, that he was just always, it felt good. It
I
felt
know what you mean. You could see his face. You just like, look at my daughter, he was just, his whole emotion and his whole being was like really proud. So I get what you're saying, because he would do that, for me as well. I remember those situations. Yeah. So I'm just kind of like reminiscing right now, but we all faced, challenges, and growing up with him at different stages. We never lived together. We found out about each other several years ago, and I don't think we really started to really bond. How long? A few years back. I visited you in Florida.
after after being adults. I think we realized that it was up to us. Like, if we wanted to have a relationship, it was up to us. I am grateful that the 2.5 years that I lived in California with dad, every summer he used to send me and Raymond, to LA to spend time with you guys. And even though he wasn't there, but he always made sure that we did spend that time together. And I have great memories, even though I didn't really grow up with any of you during those summers. I felt the love, and I felt accepted, and even, you and Robin was always like, "Oh, this is my sister Maritza. She's from Puerto Rico," and that felt really, really good. It felt really good. So I always look forward to those to the summertime, because I knew I was gonna go, and to know that I had nieces, and
Wow.
they were my age
They were
practically.
your age. That's right. That's
So
right. That's right. Now I remember that. They were your age and they had to call you auntie. Like, what? We're not going to call her auntie. You remember that?
I know.
Wow.
They were practically I was just, what, 2, 3 years older than them?
Yes. Yes. Wow. So moving forward, Mari, when we got together, I know that I got very emotional, and I think you had mentioned that you did too. Just, just seeing dad there, just the memories that come back. And I can speak for myself. there was family issues, and everybody has issues. I don't care, how we look on the outside, that's just a fact. But that's where, God comes in and heals and things. But I think we all went through the part of him having drinking a lot, and we all had our stories, when it came to all of that, but we choose to remember the good times, because um it's like a sickness. It definitely is a sickness. And I know, in sharing the living food, I do hear so many stories, and I've learned so much on this health journey. I don't know everything, but I can just testify for myself and other people's stories who have had drinking problems. And later in life, they stopped, or maybe someone shared the living food and it just made them feel positive. And I think that sometimes drinking can be part of our pain from our past that we haven't dealt with, right? Just like any kind of pain in our past, our behavior, whatever it is, shutting people out, maybe, or drinking, or just making choices because I feel, mighty, because our mind's not clear, right? And so is there anything you want to share personally, about that? I know I have my stories, but I want you to share or highlight, the good, the bad, but at the end of the day, we love our dads. And let me tell you, if my dad was alive today, not only would he be on the living food, that's for sure, but I would do things differently, because we have to love. And sometimes if you're under the influence, they're not lovable. We need to learn to love the unlovable, because it's really not them. We, even ourselves, we behave a certain way, and maybe it's pain that we're going through and we don't know how to process things, so we react, right? And so looking back, I can speak for myself, is that we all had pride. Okay. Dad had pride, I had pride. And I remember that he wouldn't call me, I wouldn't call him. I'm thinking she's the dad or she's the daughter. But you know what? I'm older now. I don't see things like that anymore. So if I get emotional, if I could turn things back, I would call him. And I remember I did one time. I think was it Arizona when he first moved out. I know he was out there for a long time. But I just felt like I need to go and just show up, because dad would never reject us because he loved us so much. But it was just the pride that didn't pick up that phone. And I remember I went there and I showed up and I knocked on the door. And oh my God, he was sleeping. And I still see it right now. He was like a little kid, like scrambling, like what, like he was trying to get his focus and his vision. Like, is that really you? And am I in a dream? And all he did was hug me. He just hugged me. And it just takes that one phone call. You know what I'm saying? And when we talked about this, and I just say, man, if my dad was alive, I would do things so different. But when you're broken yourself, you can't give what you don't have. But I'm stronger in the Lord now. I'm able to love the unlovable now. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. I still have to deal with things in my life. And I know, Mari, that I can only control me. I can't control other people. I just have to do my part. That's all I can do. And I can just pray for them, because they're stuck just like I was stuck, but there is a way to get unstuck. And that's through God first, and reading his word and praying. Because if you really want it, we're going to step out of ourselves. And when we live life through obedience and not by emotions, that's what keeps us stuck. And then for me, when I added the living food, which is this drink right here, which it's with me all the time, this helps with emotions. This helps the adaptogenic herbs. It helps with the moods. It gives you calmness to deal with the past. and to deal with every day to day of what we have to deal with, because we're in very difficult times right now. And sometimes fear wants to hit me about what's going on around the world. And then I have to step back. I had a conversation yesterday. Be ready for this and be ready for that, and make sure you have food, and this is going to happen. And I believe that we're in different times, but you know what? I can't let that fear hit me. So what I'm saying is that I believe I have a recipe is the hope and the health every morning. And that has sustained me. But if dad was alive today, I would be able to have a relationship that I never had before, is what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah, but you would be looking at him with different eyes, of course. Um, Dad's had so many great things. There was so many great things about him. I can make a list of so many great things that he had. And it's really sad that the alcohol just took away, um, took a lot away, from that, from him having a relationship with his children and creating more memories together, from him having successful marriages, you know. Um, I mean, maybe half of us would not have been born, right? But
Yeah, there's always good, in bad.
wife was Mexican, and his second wife too. So maybe I would have been Mexican instead of Puerto Rican. Who knows? But um, but yes, a lot of the failures that he had in his life was due to alcohol. Alcohol was the reason. And I think about how it helps with the moods and helps, because if you're in a better mood and you're more grounded, you're able to think better and make better decisions. And a lot of people don't know that alcohol causes more anxiety. I've heard it from people that are alcoholics or were alcoholics and say, I used to drink to take my anxiety away without realizing that the day after drinking, my anxiety would have spiked up and be in a high level because I had drank the night before, and I was drinking because I thought that was going to help, but it was just really making it worse. And a lot of people don't know that. And yes, I know that today he would have benefited a lot. And knowing his personality, once he would have an encounter, he would have been your number one fan.
Oh,
I know he would be talking about it to everybody.
Marty,
He
I
was
think I got,
a salesperson, and
yeah,
that's what he worked on
yeah.
all his life. So I'm sure he would have been a great promoter of the product.
It's funny you say that, but I remember my stepmom Joan, who's passed away as well. She would tell me, man, Kiki, when you set your mind on something, boy, there's no stopping you. And I didn't know what that meant. I see it now. I didn't see that in me. And I know that was dad. When dad had his mind on an idea,
Yeah.
he would run with it. How many times was dad successful? And I believe there was times that he was successful for a long period of time. Now you were not maybe in the picture then, but he had Aladdin Furniture. Do you remember? In Huntington Park.
That's how my mom met him.
Oh Lord, she went to go buy some furniture, boy. She got it all right.
Yep.
Okay, and then he had Aladdin Real Estate.
Yes.
Okay, and then I'm not sure when the drinking problem became more severe. I think as he got older, just not dealing with life. Like he just couldn't deal with life, and it caused him so much, even till his older age. He was still going to court. You know what I'm saying? But
The rest home.
say
He
that
also
again.
had the rest home.
He had the rest home. That's right. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
he had that for quite a few years. He already had it when I moved to California with him.
Wow. So my dad was very successful, but I think it was just at the end, it just, he just, he had,
Well,
wonderful spouses. He has wonderful children. Thank you, God. We're all well. And but at the end, when you don't have control, when you don't, have, the God and the proper nutrition. And I do believe that if I was able to share this with Dad, that he may still be here, because my mom is 84 and she's thriving. And I know your mom is still here. She's in Puerto Rico. My mom's here in California. And they all get along.
yeah, I don't know how he managed to to do that, but yes, they all got along.
Well, because they all had good stories. They had great conversation, because everybody has a story. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love to see that. I love to see that. But at the end of the day, we have really good memories of Dad and all our siblings. I think I'm the oldest, right? Yeah.
I
I'm
don't know. Who's first, you or oh, we didn't say we're 9 siblings
9 siblings. I'm
from
the oldest, Mari,
like 5 wives.
around there.
Yeah, we're 9 siblings.
And so I'm 60 down to, who's the youngest, Nena?
Nena's the youngest that
How-
we know of.
That we know of. That we know of. Yeah.
Nena's the youngest, and Nena is 30 or 31.
Girl, when I see someone Otero, I'm like, uh-oh. Somebody requested me the other day. His name was Ricky Otero. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, who's your daddy? Oh my goodness.
You mentioned about him, always showing us off. After I moved back to Puerto Rico, because unfortunately they split again, my parents split again, and I moved back to Puerto Rico. So the first trip that I made to California to visit him so I was like, what, 15? I think I was 15. I had not seen him for about 2 years, 2.5 years. He planned a party for me. I didn't know anyone in the party.
Oh no.
It was the first time I was meeting our youngest siblings, which are Papo and Nena. And because he didn't waste no time. So he had made a party, a welcome party. So when he picked me up at the airport. When we got to the house, I don't know how many people were there, but everybody was there because Roberto Otero's daughter was coming from Puerto Rico.
Dad was popular.
He was. He had everybody loved him. Everybody loved him.
Colorado. They call him Colorado, no?
Yeah, and everybody loved him. But I'm sure that once he knew I was gonna go visit him, he was talking to everybody about me, because that's how he was. And mi hija and my daughter, y mi hija viene and my daughter's coming, and blah blah blah. And the day came, and everybody was there because Roberto Otero's daughter was coming, and they even brought me presents. So yes, he was always really proud of all of us, and who we, he always showed us off. That's just how he was.
Yes. Wow. Well, here we are, much older. I'm 60, and And you're 47?
47.
And you don't even look it. You look really good, Mari. To be 3 years away from 50, you look amazing. You look like a little girl still.
Thank you.
You look amazing. I know life has its challenges, but God, we need God. He's the vine, we're the branch, and I just wish that I could share this recipe around the world. And I am. God's opened doors for me, to do that because I really believe that this recipe is making a difference. Are we going to live forever? No, but give us that quality of life,
Right.
while we're here until we go to heaven and we'll be
Yes.
perfect already. you know.
Definitely to wake up with that energy and that desire to do things because you're feeling good. It's not negotiable.
Yeah, I say it's essential and even more so now to deal with daily life. I mean, we're older and we're still going to have obstacles in our personal families. I know I do, but God, I read my Bible in the morning, I drink my drink, and I put that on social media. I'm doing my recipe every morning, because I don't know what it is to not start my day like that. I don't want to know. If I have something that's going to help me, why wouldn't I? And this is at every level, whether you're alcoholic or not, whether you're healthy, you're still going to feel better because how powerful, the living food is. But hey, didn't you have a photo? Did you
I
have
I quickly look around and I found this one. I don't know. Um,
it's
can you?
blurry. It's blurry right now. Mari, it's blurry. Yeah, that's better. That's better. So how old were you there? Okay.
I was like 11, 10 or 11,
Okay.
like 11. I was like 11. Yeah, so
Wow.
that must be like in 85.
Yes. Wow. Well, Dad's birthday would have been, I believe it's in July, next
July 13. It's coming up.
July 13th. Yeah, so I say it would have been about 85, but we just wanted to share a little bit about our story. Not many know about all my siblings and a little bit about my life and what God has done in my life, and I love to share my blessings, whether it is a hope or whether it is a help, but they do go well together. And I encourage anybody to bless your father with the gift of health. Living food really does make a difference, and we love our parents. And getting older, we don't have to accept being sick and tired and our joints starting to hurt more. So let's bless our parents this Father's Day. And Mari, I appreciate you and I love you. Is there anything else that you wanted to share?
Um, no, just, it was a great product and yes, to have for an older person to have the energy to spend time with their grandchildren and play and I've seen people that are 80 years old and feel like 60, and then I've seen people with 80 years old and feel like if they're 100 years old, and to feel good and to have the energy to and keep enjoying life. It's really, if you have the opportunity, just take advantage of having the blessing of knowing about this.
Awesome. I love you, sis.
Love you too.
Okay, I'll be praying for you. You pray for me. And I know I need to go down there. You need to go over here. But just a reminder how time flies. And sometimes we have to let go of things, let God, and we need to take time to rejuvenate in our health and in our mind, in our spirit, soul, and body, because it's everything that we have. If we don't have a healthy body, where are we going to live, right?
And look for each other, love each other, and keep creating memories no matter what. When I received the call that Dad was passing away, it had been 10 years since I had not seen him.
Wait a
And
minute. You just reminded me of something. I remember when I got the call that Dad was going to be passing. I think we jumped in a van. We drove to Arizona. And I remember you called me and you were on your way from Puerto Rico. And I remember you said, please tell Dad to wait for me. Do you remember that?
Sure.
I do. The most heartbreaking moment, but he did wait for you. And I don't remember how long you stood, but you had to go back and you had to get married. So what emotions were you dealing with?
I got there. I received the call on a Wednesday night. I got there on Thursday night. He passed away on Monday.
And you got married on the Saturday?
And my wedding was the next Sunday.
Okay. Wow.
So, so only a few days. Only a few days.
Wow.
And I came back to Puerto Rico on Sunday. So I got there Thursday night. I came back to Puerto Rico Sunday, and he passed away on Monday, and I wasn't able to go back.
Mm. Wow.
And I remember, I don't know if I could have stayed longer, but I know that I didn't want to miss days of work because I've just always been so responsible at work. I do know I came back on Sunday because I had to go to work on Monday and I had already missed, and Thursday and Friday, right? It was a short notice. Of course, it was an emergency, but I felt guilty that I was giving my job a short notice that I had to leave. And so I bought my ticket for Sunday because I needed to be at the office on Monday. And it's not worth it. You leave your job or they fire you, the next day they already have somebody else. They don't care. Companies don't care. Employers, they don't care.
Right.
So
They'll replace you.
never put your family, I mean, the other way, put, your job above your family, I learned my lesson. I regret not staying longer.
Oh. Well, just doing this with you, Mari, it has brought things to surface. I have family members now in my family that I'm dealing with. I could only do so much, but just having more compassion and just letting them know I love you, you know what I mean, is a lot right there, because you don't know if just that one word will make them turn back. And I don't sit here to say I have a perfect family. I don't. But God, that's all I can tell you. But God, that's why I'm here sharing hope and health. I don't have control over everything, but I have control of those two things in my life. And I'm going to use whatever I can for myself and to reach out and show, that compassion, that love. And it's prioritizing in our life. We get so caught up in what's going on in the world today. So without hope and health, we really don't have much. So thank you for your busy time and setting some time for me. But this was very healing for me. I didn't mean to bring it up at the end, but I think that that what needed to be said needed to be said. So
Okay, we'll take care. We'll talk later.
okay, Mia, love you. And I always say that living food is a win-win. Happy cells, happy body, happy body. Bye. Bye-bye, everybody.